how do we get good stress? Well, that's what we're talking about today. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about a productivity hack that literally changed the way that I work, and it's something that I use every single day to help me be more productive, stay focused, and ultimately get more done. And that thing is stress. Now, before you leave this video with a confused look on your face, let me clarify what I mean by stress, because I don't mean the bad kind of stress. I know we all have had that kind of stress in our lives where you feel completely debilitated and unable to function at all. That kind of stress is terrible and should be avoided at all costs. The kind of stress that I'm referring to here is the kind that makes you want to rise to the occasion. The kind of stress that motivates you, the kind of stress that you can actually leverage to get more done. It's that feeling of having an important presentation the next day, so you stay up late working on it. It's the stress of knowing that you have a final exam tomorrow, so you hit the books. This kind of stress can actually be used to our advantage, and it can make us more productive if we know how to use it properly. So first off, let's talk about what this kind of stress actually does to our body. Because understanding that is going to be key to being able to manipulate it and control it. So this kind of stress is also known as good stress or happy stress, and it's actually a natural and necessary part of life. In fact, without it, we wouldn't be able to accomplish much of anything. When we experience this type of stress, our body goes into what's called the fight or flight response. During this response, our body releases hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol, which prepare us to take action. These hormones increase our heart rate, increase our blood flow, and increase our focus. They essentially sharpen our mind and our body to be able to take on whatever challenge is in front of us. Adrenaline increases our energy, our alertness, and our overall focus, so that we're able to perform at our best. Cortisol, on the other hand, helps to regulate our metabolism, and it allows us to use our energy more efficiently. But it's not just our physical body that benefits from this stress. Our brain also goes through some changes during the fight or flight response that allow us to think more clearly and make better decisions. This is why athletes, for example, often perform better when they have some nerves before a game. The stress helps them to focus and be more aware of their surroundings. Similarly, musicians are often able to play better when they're nervous. The adrenaline rush helps them to be more in the moment and really connect with their performance. So this is the power of good stress. It can help us to perform better and be more productive if we know how to use it. So now you might be wondering, how exactly can we get more of this good stress in our lives? How do we trick our brains into thinking there's a lion chasing us so we can get more work done? Well, it's not that complicated. The truth is, we already do this to some extent in our lives. For example, we often put ourselves under pressure by setting deadlines. We tell ourselves that we need to get something done by a certain time, and this sense of urgency can help us to focus and be more productive. We know that we need to get something done quickly, so we put everything else aside and we focus on the task at hand. Deadlines can be helpful in this way, but they can also be harmful if they cause us too much stress. So it's important to find the right balance and set deadlines that are challenging but still achievable. Another thing that we can do is set goals for ourselves. When we have a goal in mind, we have something to strive for, and this can help us to stay motivated and focused. Setting goals gives us a sense of direction, and it helps us to prioritize our tasks. But again, it's important not to set goals that are too ambitious or too overwhelming. We want to set ourselves up for success, not failure. We can also try and change our environment to help us get more done. If we want to be more productive, we can try and work in a place that is quiet and has minimal distractions. We could also try and work in a space that is more open and has natural light. Ultimately, it's up to us to find what works best for us and our individual needs. The final thing that we can do is something that I talk about all the time on this channel, and that is taking breaks. Taking breaks can actually help us to be more productive in the long run. When we take a break, we give our brain a chance to rest and recharge, come back to our work feeling refreshed and with a new perspective. It's important to find the right balance between working hard and taking care of ourselves. Now, I want to talk a little bit about how we can actually control this stress response, because once we understand how it works, it becomes very clear that we have a lot more control over it than we think. When we start to become aware of the physical sensations that occur when we're stressed out, things like increased heart rate or sweating, we can start to train our body to associate those sensations with positive outcomes. For example, if we're an athlete, we can start to associate the jitters that we feel before a game with the excitement of competition. We can reframe the way that we think about stress by focusing on the positive aspects and the opportunities that it presents to us. This is a practice that I use all the time. For example, whenever I'm about to speak in public, I feel a little bit nervous. But instead of letting that stress get the better of me, I choose to embrace it. I remind myself that this is a good kind of stress. This is the stress that means I care about what I'm doing. It means that I'm passionate about the topic at hand. I use that stress to fuel my performance. It helps me to be more energetic and more enthusiastic. In addition to reframing the way that we think about stress, we can also use breathing exercises to calm ourselves down and bring our body back to a state of balance. Deep breathing exercises can help to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for calming us down and bringing us back to a state of relaxation. So when we feel stress starting to creep in, we can take a few deep breaths, count to 5, breathe in, and then breathe out. This can help us to calm down and focus on the task at hand. Finally, we can also try and surround ourselves with positive people who support us and make us feel comfortable in our own skin. Having a strong support system can make all the difference when it comes to managing stress. When we feel supported and loved, we're more likely to believe in ourselves and our ability to handle whatever challenges come our way. We can surround ourselves with positive people both in person and online. There are so many amazing communities out there filled with people who are supportive and encouraging. So in conclusion, stress isn't always a bad thing. In fact, when it's the good kind of stress, it can be a powerful motivator that can help us to perform at our best. By understanding how stress affects our body and our brain, we can learn to control it and use it to our advantage. So the next time you feel stress creeping in, don't try and fight it. Instead, embrace it and use it to help you get more done. Remember to take breaks, to breathe deeply, and to surround yourself with positive people. And above all, remember that you are capable of handling whatever challenges come your way. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.